It's no big deal. The loud voice and angry tone suggested it was in fact a very big deal. Honestly, she's only a bridesmaid, for goodness sake. It's not her decision to make. The woman almost shouted into her mobile phone. Jessica Pearson shifted uncomfortably in her seat, moving an inch or two further away from the woman sitting next to her. From all parts of the airport lounge, eyes began to turn in their direction. Jess felt the first small twinge of fear. What if someone recognised her? A man seated opposite sighed very loudly. He glared at the woman on the phone, who either didn't see him or chose to ignore him. He caught Jessica's eye and shook his head, his mouth fixed in a disapproving line. Jess avoided his gaze and ducked her head to stare at the page of the book she wasn't reading. I know she's his sister, but this is my wedding, and before you ask, I will not talk to her. The woman was becoming even more strident. Was she totally unaware of the looks she was getting from her fellow passengers? Jess was tempted to move, but that would only draw some of those eyes her way, and the last thing she wanted to do was to attract any attention. Right now, she was just an anonymous face in the crowd, another nameless passenger in Sydney's busy airport, and that's just what she needed to be. Excuse me, miss. The voice caused Jessica's heart to leap. Had she been recognised? Slowly she looked up into the face of a uniformed airline agent. Is this yours? The agent asked, indicating a black bag on the carpet near Jessica's feet. No, she shook her head. It's mine, the woman next to her said, without removing the phone from her ear. Is there a problem? Jess ducked her head, glad to be out of the spotlight. But she wasn't that lucky. More eyes turned her way as the passenger snapped her phone closed and began to argue with the airline agent over whether her bag was carry-on size. Oh no, Jess thought. Please. She risked another quick glance around the lounge. Two men sitting on the other side of the room were looking directly at her. One said something in a low tone to his companion. Jess felt her heart clench. She couldn't hear their voices, and she wasn't even sure they were discussing her, but her mind filled in the words she'd heard so many times over the past few days. Gave up her lover to escape jail, turned him in to save her own skin, just as guilty as the others, a drug runner who should be in prison. She wasn't a drug runner, but neither was she entirely innocent. The speakers overhead crackled into life, announcing that it was time to board the flight. Jess leaped to her feet. She was in no great hurry to board the plane, but she was eager to be out of the curious gaze of her fellow passengers. The flight attendant smiled mechanically as he checked her boarding pass. Welcome on board, Miss Pearson,